Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Wyatt Turk, and special guest, Matt Castro. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, what's up? It's awful to be here. I'm going to go with the opposite part of it.
Oh, man.
I liked you better when you're talking with your back to us.
That's a strange, out of context thing to say. I'll let people in chat figure out what that means. But Matt coming in during travel. Just let us know, like, why are you coming to us from a hotel room in San Jose? What's up?
Yeah, I'm on the run. Cops finally caught on to me. Just got it.
For what? Like, what were you doing?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. I can't say it on the
I heard that you have a toucan now. So is it toucan related?
It's lots of stuff related. It's too much. It's too much for you guys to handle. No, I'm here because what's it called? I'm doing a collab with Tabletop Titans on Saturday, so I'm going to be on their stream on Saturday. So flew out here to hang out a little bit and do all that stuff. I brought the Harridan. He's inside of my suitcase. I have to glue him back together. Got to go to a Walmart and find some super glue and just put them back together.
Man, nice.
Glue him back up. Well, we brought Matt on tonight. He was gracious enough to help us with some subject matter regarding the new Eldar stuff. We're going to talk about Harlequins because the man is a Harlequin fan. It's one of your first things you created when you jumped into Warhammer 40k, right? In 8th edition?
Yeah. It was. It's my second army that I got into. Started with Tyranids, and then after that, I was like, what else moves fast and eats ass? And I was like, Harlequins move fast. And so went with them.
Why did we not pre-plan to do a Juggalo theme for this?
You know, I can't believe I'm embarrassed, frankly, that I've never thought of that until you said that.
I literally was just like, clown.
Yeah, I'm just like, why the fuck did I not think of that? I'm frankly embarrassed.
Yeah, very ashamed of all of us.
Damn.
I really want to see a Harlequins army that's like a post-apocalyptic warrior style, just like very bike heavy and
like not too distant future dystopian sci-fi warriors.
Yeah.
Like Mad Max Harlequins.
Yeah, kind of like Mad Max Harlequins. I feel like that'd be cool. Leather jackets.
Get them all on roller skates.
Yeah, all on roller skates.
Good breakdance fight.
No, I love
That'd be
it.
dope.
So we have that to look forward to tonight as we have Matt with us to walk us through some of his hot takes on Harlequins specifically. The guys just came back from Cherokee Open. Covered on Spiky Bits, lots of great pictures. Long War doubles took place. We did a tactics earlier today, tactics discussion, where Wyatt walked us through his experience with Custodes. Pretty good listen. But we have a lot of things to cover tonight. So all joking aside, Wyatt, can we roll out to your Cave of Wonders and do a Would You Rather joke?
Of course. Each dinner, would you rather have to shotgun a can of tomato bisque or
Yikes.
a can of clam chowder?
Oh, one's thick, one's not.
Mm-hmm.
Did you put tomatoes in there just because you don't hate tomatoes?
I mean, I also hate tomatoes, but I like tomato soup.
Is it gluten-free?
I don't know.
Let me Google that for you.
The weirdest things are gluten-free or have it in there.
I feel like the genie wouldn't do me like that.
Yeah, how long do I have? I have to shotgun it, like one of those things where I have to poke a hole, open up the top, and just have it just barrel into my throat.
Yes.
I feel like that tomato soup would probably be the easiest one, right? Because it's just going to go straight down like super fast. There's nothing.
It's not tomato. It'd be worse if it was like crushed tomato fucking pasta sauce. Like, to me, I'm looking at the ingredients in a tomato bisque.
Biscuit might be able to have. I don't think I can have the other one. Because this is all about me. Let's be honest. I mean,
is it like lobster and crab tomato bisque? Like it's all infused in there?
I don't know. Campbell's tomato bisque, like whatever. Choose your brand.
I'm just gonna trust the genie. The genie would never do me like that.
Yeah, it would just be magically gluten free.
There you go. See, I knew we could coexist. Genie.
That or clam chowder is like we're talking like Progresso brand clam chowder, like cafeteria.
You can choose whatever brand you want.
Don't put crackers in a dog.
Now, am I required to stock this myself, or does this magically appear on my desk or my kitchen counter every morning?
No, you gotta like buy it, like you buy dinner. Any normal groceries.
Wait, so I have to do this every single night?
Yeah, when you eat dinner.
In addition to dinner, this isn't
that's your dinner.
I mean, am I allowed to eat dinner afterwards?
No, that's your dinner.
That's my dinner.
Your lunch is your new dinner that you want to enjoy.
So every night I have to be like in pain, just chugging an entire can of soup.
Yep.
For the rest of your life.
It'll be like Gator. It's like milk was a bad choice.
Yeah.
I'm doing clam chowder. I'm not fucking drinking a can of fucking tomatoes every night. There's just no way I can.
You don't think so?
No.
You couldn't do it?
No.
It's like basically V8.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
It's basically V8.
No, it's
I drink
not.
V8 all the time. It's not.
I said basically.
I'm gonna fucking shake the fuck out of a can of fucking clam chowder, get it as smooth as I can, pop that top, just suck that can dry and squeeze that motherfucker down my throat every night rather than drink a fucking can of tomato soup.
Why would you even do that instead of a fruit like a tomato?
Tomatoes are vile, dude.
They're not.
I'm not gonna drink a container of like liquid tomato guts. Like, yikes.
Think about how thick clam chowder is.
It's much thicker for sure, and it's going to be harder to do, but I will work it out. I will go through the brands. I'll figure out what's the best. I might get like one of those, that little fucking paint shaker you guys like because you can't shake your paints because you have weak, skinny arms. Like, I'm going to get one of those for this.
You mean the one that Demeki has?
Yeah.
The one where he just puts it on there? Nah, I'm going hard. I'm going to go ham, and I'm going to go Campbell's tomato bisque. I'm going to pop that open every single night and just down it. Easy. It's the least.
Kara says if it's Campbell's, you're fucked. It's sludge.
It's probably like 80% water, so I should be fine, right?
Yeah.
Now, so it has to be canned, obviously, so I can't shotgun it. Right? Now, can I like make my own chowder and then like put it in a can and shotgun it?
Yeah. If you have a full like canning setup, it can't just be like in a jar.
I mean, if this is the rest of my life, I'm gonna get into canning. There's no way around this.
Yeah.
Like
No. Wait, hold on a second. You can't just like give him all this flexibility of like he can make it.
You have to ask the genie questions so that you know what your answer is.
Because then he could just make really like liquidized clam chowder that's just like barely clam chowder and then chug it and then it defeats the purpose.
The genie will know if you are gaming it.
Yeah.
If you game it,
sent to the shadow
you get banished to the shadow realm with butthole spiders. Like it's like so he knows your motivation. So if I went into this canning operation to make it the minimum requirements to be considered clam chowder just to try to bypass some loophole, I'm instantly banished to the shadow realm. This is magically motivated would you rather. Like,
how bad is the shadow realm?
but you get the rest of your life butthole spiders into your butthole.
Nobody wants the buttholes.
So you choose butthole spider, shadow realm, or this.
Okay. All right. I still choose the tomato bisque.
Like I will make the clam chowder appropriately clam chowder with fresh ingredients, and I will make it so it's not just cold, thick sludge. I will like warm that shit up. I'm making it all tight, put it in my can, close that joint, shake that bitch up, shotgun that shit right there on one knee in front of the genie and the whole world, and that'd be my dinner every night.
Would eating that much tomato bisque do something to my skin, like jaundice or something? Like, would it change the way?
It's just you're just having a tomato soup every night for dinner. It's not that big.
It's just like drinking a V8, bro.
Except that's an entire like can.
I think the thing you're talking about, like, because you're mentioning the thing with like carrots, right?
Yeah.
Well, you have to have like a deficiency. There's going to be something wrong with you for that to happen, and then on top of that, you have to intake like an inhuman amount of like carrots. Otherwise, it's like tomato is just a vegetable. Like it's fine for you.
Yeah, but you don't know what else is inside of a Campbell's tomato bisque Campbell's tomato bisque thing.
Well, I mean, you don't have to have Campbell's. You can have whatever brand you want.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You could have like the Whole Foods brand if you wanted to.
I mean, it's your whole life. Just get into canning like I am.
Yeah. The hobby inside the hobby.
How do you shotgun it? It's
Yeah, you stab a hole in the bottom, crack it open, suck it down.
Mm-hmm.
In the glass.
I'm gonna fucking squeeze that thing, just shoot it down my throat hole.
That's impressive.
He's gonna drink crushed glass.
Like, it's disgusting, but I'd rather do that.
I think I'd do the tomato bisque.
Talking about.
Everyone knows tomatoes are fruit.
Tomatoes gnarly. I think I read somewhere that like vegetables don't exist.
Clearly.
It's just like a word we use to describe like another type of thing that fruits on plants. It's not a classification of blah. I don't know the science. I just read that somewhere. Like everything is a plant's fruit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, I see what you're saying. It's like colors, right? Like pink is still a shade of red from before, but then we categorize it as a different color.
I can get behind that. I think all colors are actually technically the same color.
Oh. Well, wasn't the distinction that like they grow on trees? Like it's going to be like a tree.
See, that's what I thought it had to have seeds.
I think
like honestly, like this is all like I don't know. I just read somewhere they're like, you know, some botanist on like TikTok or some shit was like put out a series on it, and I was like, this makes a lot of sense.
It's TikTok.
Yeah, but they don't talk. They just make you read the little captions. So I read it on TikTok. And if you read it, it's more likely to be true. That's a fact.
You don't know how to read, Kenny. You can't fool me.
It's true. Can't confirm.
Yep.
I have a would you rather for Wyatt.
Oh yeah. Flip the script.
Yeah. Would you rather while driving through North Carolina
Oh, okay.
eat at Zaxby's?
Oh yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
I mean, Chick-fil-A. Oh, obviously. Because we know that if we stop at Zaxby's, there's going to be like 5 unmonitored toddlers screaming the entire time.
Their Wi-Fi synced up.
Dude.
And they became a super combiner. I'm like, I'm so hungry.
Like,
let's stop here. It's the
we
first
stopped.
place.
We stopped at Zaxby's. We're like, oh yeah, we can all agree it's like tasty. Wish it was Chick-fil-A. Because like all 3 of us were like, wish it was Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And then a mile down the road, there's a Chick-fil-A. We just stopped too soon.
I'm like, I guess we should have Googled that. Oops.
That was when we were still in like a normal part of town. Like,
so this wasn't Florida hobo murder town.
Yeah, this was hours
Christmas
Ski Town. Yeah, like Ski Town was a lie. Like Ski Town is just like the gates of hell, where it looks all nice to trick you, and then as soon as you get through Ski Town, it's like, hey, welcome to hell. Here's your meth shack and complimentary butt spiders. Like, have fun.
Oh my god.
What a great description for a place. Welcome to Ski Town, the gates of hell. I would visit that town in a heartbeat.
Dude, it was like 80 degrees outside and they still had like fake snow on these slopes and it looked so gross. It was like, there was like one strip of like white fake snow where people were actually like doing the little like, I don't know what they're called, but they're like a sled, but you like ride on your belly the way down.
Tube?
No, not a tube. It's
slide.
I'm just gonna call it a belly sled. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a little belly. It's like plastic belly sled. So like they had like the one little strip of like white fake snow. Everything else was brown. Everything else, like the entirety of the hill was brown.
Yikes!
Nah.
Kind of want to visit this place now.
Well, we kind of went the wrong way, but we still got there.
we went the wrong. Like we went through fucking Fallout 76 on the way there.
All right, Rob, why don't you do some news for us real quick?
I'm only going to do last week's worth of news. That's all you're getting out of me.
That's fair.
All right, good deal. It's coming out or going up on pre-order this week for Games Workshop's the new Kill Team stuff. They are putting out the new Sisters Novatites and the Tau Empire Pathfinder separately. Finally, those are 60 and 55 respectively. Kill Team Codex Chalnoth, which I guess has the rules for them in it's 45. The new Nachman Kill Team box, which is going to have the new Void Scarred Corsairs, aka the Eldar, and the new Chaos Space Marines with their upgrade screw. That one actually is pretty good value in GW money, of course. If you factor in the terrain and such, which seems to be where a lot of the value's been coming from on the GW box sets lately, that's going for $195. They also have the sets of the dice for both of those factions for $38 each. And then the Killzone Chalnoth set of terrain, which is those really cool Sector Mechanicus buildings that everybody liked. Not the other terrain stuff, but the really good stuff that came out in the first Kill Team box back in 2018 that everybody loved.
Does anyone collect that terrain?
I don't know.
Do you have just a whole display cabinet of just dope terrain that you bought out of these sets and painted up?
Do I? No.
Or are you like me where you have a box of shamefully hidden, unbuilt terrain in a closet?
I don't think I have. I'm not sure if I have any. I haven't painted up my Custodes Shield Captain yet. Or not Shield Captain, Blade Champion. But I don't. Maybe some Forge Roll kits. I probably have some Forge Roll kits I need to build. But other than that, terrain. It's not. Nah.
I don't give a fuck about terrain. I'm just curious.
I kind of don't.
They seem to assign so much value to this terrain in these boxes. I'm like, I don't care about it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Their terrain's dope. If somebody puts it together and it's already together and it's painted, I'll be like, yeah, all about it. But I'm not going to do all that.
I remember the City Fight box that came out with way back in the day, how good of a value that was. I had a billion pieces of City Fight terrain in a closet for a decade. I was like, why did I buy this? I will never buy this again.
Yeah. I mean, terrain's the cool thing. You can always move it because people are always really into it. So it's not a bad pickup. This box is pretty good, especially when you figure that they're selling the Killzone Chalnoth Codex rule set for $45, even though that's hardcover, and the one that came in the Chalnoth box was soft cover. I mean, $45, you could probably sell the book that's going to come in Nachman separately on eBay and probably get at least, if you throw in free shipping, maybe 30, 35 for it. Because I mean, let's face it, if you have Chaos Space Marines, which a lot of people probably have Chaos Space Marines.
What box is this?
The new Kill Team box is going on pre-order this week. It's called Nachman.
Why did they choose such a dumb name?
I don't know.
What does Nachman mean?
Just a place.
Does anybody know?
Yeah. Does it mean something super badass?
It's the new trend.
His last name was Nachman.
They have these planets that's the war zone. It's like Armageddon or Arcadia. So they're this season, the big story war zone that we're doing is happening. It was the same for Octarius. Octarius war zone. It just seems to be the way they're instead of being season 2, they're just going to be
random word we made up.
Oh, yeah. They're making a Hollywood couple name out of it. I get it.
Yeah.
Next year's
whatever.
Document.
But does it mean anything though? Is it Armageddon means something?
It's just some system, some planet,
some pseudo Latin stuff they can copyright.
I will say that the terrain inside those Kill Team boxes are really good.
They're cool.
Yeah,
and you always get the hard card play surface things that they charge $50 for normally separately. The smaller versions you get the paper one. So if Kill Team's your thing, this is a good pickup for you. But if it's not, and you're just I just want the Chaos Space Marine dudes, just wait. Vote with your hobby dollars. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you were saying.
I don't even know what I was saying half the time. Anyways, Also, unfortunately, Games Workshop price increases went into effect on Monday, the 7th. So everything went up, but maybe your local retailer hasn't, quite gone through the racks and, noticed that things might have gone up. I did look through the list a little bit more comprehensively, and things like Primary Space Marines did not go up. They're still $60. You might say because they've been $60 since like 2017, so they didn't need to raise them. I don't know. But either way, there are some core staple items that didn't actually go up either. So there's a little bit of a silver lining there, I suppose. They also unveiled that there will be a Tyranids combat patrol along with the Parasite of more Trex model, which looks pretty good for, never actually having a model. I imagine he'll go for 38 to 42, which is their new independent character price when it finally comes out separately at some point.
That one, I'm very excited for the patrol box at the very least for Tyranids, just because like before, the only thing when people would be like, "Oh, I want to start Tyranids, what do I get?" And it was always so complicated because you never suggest the start collecting box because it's so bad. And then now with the combat patrol, it's really good. So you can just be like, "Yeah, start with the combat patrol box."
It's basically what warriors, Gants.
Yeah, 3 warriors, a bunch of gaunts, and a hive tyrant that you can change into either a swarm lord, flying hive tyrant, or a walking tyrant. Perfect.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's solid and pretty decent value there. I think it was like $80 or something, which is one of the better value ones out there. Because the Grey Knights one's like $45. It's value wise, it's terrible. Well, I mean, still $45 is almost a whole kit at this point, but here we are complaining about free $45. Oh no. Also, the Lone Star Open tickets just went on sale yesterday, I believe. That will be the July 23rd and 24th.
And that one's going to be a military appreciation event. So if you are active duty or did serve in the armed forces, you can select a ticket with the branch that you served in, and you get a discount. And also, there's going to be sort of like a behind the scenes competition where like everybody who bought a ticket is Army and Marines and Air Force and Navy and all that. Like they're going to have like a points competition between those players. So at the end of the event, the faction, I guess.
Well, it's like a team scoring.
Yeah. Except it's just like kind of behind the.
It's a sidebar. It's like, it turns out Marines are just better 40K than you Army grunts.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it. It's fun. That's fun.
Yeah. So you can get your tickets. I think they said everything would be on sale for a hot minute, but obviously you lock it in so they can get all their ducks in a row on the numbers and things like that, which would be pretty good. Also, Renegade Studios announced that they are officially doing a G.I. Joe board game, and they unveiled some prototype miniatures for the board game, including a really dope looking Snake Eyes. I don't know how many people are in a G.I. Joe.
I knew you were going to say Snake Eyes like that. He's the Boba Fett of fucking.
Can we get like Shore Leave?
Shore Leave is the heat. Yeah.
Is that a G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not a real G.I. Joe.
What's the G.I. Joe guy's name? That is Shore Leave.
Shipwreck. And he has a parrot named Polly.
Shore Leave sounds more fun.
G.I. Joe was just a little bit before my time.
Me too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Over here beating his dick to Snake Eye miniatures.
Anyway, it's a Snake Eye miniature. Looks pretty dope. There's Duke and Major Blood and Baroness and
Matt. Do you even know what Snake Eyes is? He's a ninja.
I don't know what Snake Eyes is.
He just is a ninja. He's a guy walking around in ninja gear. That's it. That's what makes him cool. He's in a G.I. Joe setting, a bunch of guys with army clothes on and guns, and one guy with swords and ninja gear. It's like, he's the coolest. It's like, he is literally not the coolest.
He will literally die on the battlefield, just like runs up with swords running at people.
Well, luckily no one dies on the battlefield because
he's got an Uzi too.
It's as far as I can tell, it's the no guns war of the 80s. Like, they have guns that don't do it. They're just they're playing laser tag out there.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So he might actually be the only guy who has killed somebody. Like,
yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you. I think he killed somebody with that trident.
Yeah.
Who owns the rights to G.I. Joe right now?
Pretty sure it's Hasbro.
Yeah, Hasbro.
Is it still Hasbro?
Yeah. That's why they can have the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover comics. So they own both properties.
They also bought Power Rangers, so technically they could cross over with Power Rangers
Oh
too.
shit!
All right,
Yeah, they bought Power Rangers
tight.
from Saban or whatever.
On or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I saw that they came out with a tabletop RPG for Power Rangers.
Yep, same place that's making the board game. So
Oh, sick! Yeah,
that actually came out with tabletop RPG for G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Power Rangers. So maybe we'll have the super crossover.
nice.
Do it.
So we have a Deathstroke and a Cobra Commander mini.
I think Cobra Commander was in there. I don't think Destro was yet. Maybe that's series 2.
Okay, like I'll get hype on that.
You know what crossover I'm really waiting for? It's Jurassic Park and Fast and the Furious. That's the one. Like once
Fantastic.
that's over. It's like I can die happy once that happens.
Well, the new Jurassic Park movie looks pretty good. I'm stoked for that.
But it'd look a lot better if it was Fast and the Furious in there too. You're right.
You're
I see
right,
your point,
dude.
Matt. I see your point.
Velociraptors are family.
Can you imagine Vin Diesel just punching a Velociraptor? That would be.
I can 100% imagine that. He just like saddles up and rides the T-Rex.
But like
And
obviously
there's
he's in a car,
yeah,
spinning it around, driving backwards at 100 miles an hour, and punches a Velociraptor.
Yeah.
and then like there's an inherent dick joke because they have that onset rivalry. So it's like whose dinosaur is bigger, Vin Diesel's or the Rock's? It's like, oh, you're riding a Triceratops. I got this T-Rex, bro.
See, and then that's when Chris Pratt comes in on like some larger monster.
Yeah,
Little clickers.
That would be the cut for the trailer. Easy.
Oh, now that we just gave Hollywood their newest blockbuster, let's talk more about this nerd shit that we like. Obviously, G.I. Joe. And one other thing I did want to mention that there is a potential, although it's not actually official yet, for 2 Games Workshop previews in the next 2 weeks because Gamma is happening next week and Adepticon is the following week, which there will most likely be a preview at Adepticon on Wednesday night, even though none of this is officially announced yet. But
the big one's always Adepticon.
Yeah, it is. That's all I got. That's it. Why don't you do some Patreon stuff?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. So we got a awesome question from one of our patrons, which we'll field after I give thanks to a bunch of our new patrons. So big thank you to Toaster Lover 69, Honk, Lawrence, Mantis Toboggan, Battleborn Hobbies, Viking Beard, Roger, Russ Heidler, and Mostro Morty. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I feel like if they use a real name, it's just not as cool anymore. Sorry, Roger or Lawrence.
I mean, Honk is the best one by far. What a great handle.
What if Honk is his real name? You don't know that.
I mean, even better, dude. Like, can you imagine the confidence you would have if you just be like, my name is Honk?
What if you fat fingered it? It's really like Hank or something. It's just he's like,
it's like,
fuck it, I can't take it back.
It's like 3 levels of contrivance to change this. So it's Honk now.
I would love it if my name was Honk. Hello, Mr. Honk. Like, that's amazing.
All right. So we got this question from Aaron Rosmus. He asks, is there any viability to integrating chips or digital tech into tabletop minis like Activision did with Skylanders back in 2011 without it becoming a burdensome gimmick?
Oh, is he talking about like putting chips underneath like the model so that you can read it from like afar or put it on like a console? Like, what was that game that you were talking about?
Skylanders. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what Skylanders is. I'm assuming
it was a hex based. Pretty sure it was hex based.
I mean, there's a number. There's the ones for like, there was that game Disney Infinity, right? That had the collectibles.
Yeah, it was the same thing.
Well, to what end are these chips? Is it like just for augmented reality?
Yeah, like I remember they had them for like the Wii, and you could have like your Mario, and if you like had it on your Wii, there was like things that could happen in game or different stuff. Like I never really got into it, but I get what he's talking about. I think it could be a cool idea. Like I imagine that what people would want for 40K is like
The rules.
yeah, like a rule, or maybe like if you had like an app on your phone, you could see like an overlay of a table of like where all of the models are laid out, and then as you move them, it would be tracking those.
If you had
could
a
see,
solid app that was integrated into this system, right? And then let's say, remember how we had a dice rolling app?
yeah,
And so imagine like the way we play the game now is on this tricorder, right? Our smartphone. And so we move our models, but we use a digital dice rolling app, which is ingrained in this. So like you basically would say, okay, I'm going to shoot, it already knows the unit. So you don't have to go through and pick weird things. You're like, this unit is going to shoot its war gear because your army list is uploaded into this app at that unit. And so you go through the process, roll the dices and everything. Everything is taken care of. He rolls and saves everything and it occurs, right? And it would be sick though. You could do this if it was developed enough. You need a lot of money and a lot of fucking passion. But the coolest part about it is for battle reports is that you could deploy a degree of augmented reality in any one of these
you have
moments.
this like John Madden shit going on where you can see
even better. Because it's chips and the units
the
in
other
there.
thing I just thought of is
And
like
hold on. And it tracks casualties and weapons actions by unit. Then when you do the replay, it literally can show Marines running to this position, pulling their bolters out and firing, and 6 guys dropping, augmented. Literally because it knows the action that just occurred.
yeah,
Like
that'd
that.
be really cool. And then if you had almost that same functionality, you wouldn't have to measure anymore. Because you would see that like my unit of Space Marines is exactly 26 inches from Kenny's Chaos Space Marines. Thus they're out of range because it just knows that like this base is this many inches away from another base.
But if you look at it in your phone, it's like red, so you can't activate it to shoot.
Yeah. It's like, cool. I'm going to make this charge. It's like, can you make that charge with 6 inches and be in engagement range? And you're like, yeah, of course. And it turns out like, oh no, like actually they're this far apart. And you can't do that.
See,
The question though is there any reason why this wouldn't work? Like, there's a lot of reasons why it could work, but there are also a lot of reasons why it wouldn't work. One of them is that people are drawn to a tabletop game for the full analog experience that is not that.
I really enjoy rolling dice.
So there is a big reason why this wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Also, it would be extremely expensive to do all that for every single model and 2,000 point armor.
You'd have to program the shit out of it, yeah.
I mean, it would have to be a massive endeavor, not a pet project. Another reason why it wouldn't work.
I could see it being affordable if you found like a chipset that you could just like stick on the bottom of a base, like just like an insert, and you buy them in packs. Like what are those things that Apple people really like, where it's just like a thing they're like little token. Yeah, little tokens.
So you can
like,
track people.
Yeah, like whatever those are like relatively inexpensive.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how about this? What is some type of tech that you would want to see introduced to 40K just in general?
I would like a functional army builder that had rules that would roll out.
I can see, I like Battlescribe, right? Like no shit on Battlescribe, but I hate the phone interaction of Battlescribe. I never use it. I was building a list in the car on the drive to the airport with Rob, and that was the first time I've done that in years because I just don't like it. I like using the desktop version. So if we could get like a mobile app that isn't complete dog shit, then like I would appreciate that as a piece of tech. A better like game tracker, because we have like the ITC Battles app, which works and is fine, but I think it's very clunky and you have to select a whole
like that.
I just think the UI is very like clunky because of how small everything has to be to fit on a phone screen. And so it's like not everybody has the same capability of easily using that. So if it was just more like user friendly, I think I would appreciate something like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people use those on their iPads and
or
stuff.
everything you guys just said in one app.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that would be sick to actually have a unified game tracker, battle, army list generator / pairings app, right? Like all of it's just one fleshed out baller experience.
That would be cool.
And that means when we go to the table, literally, like if it was all integrated, you go to the table, we're already using Best Coast pairings, like so a pairing app. If we go to the table, it's like we're like in a connection now, like both uplinking our scores in real time and select like, and now you also have real time tracking, not just, oh, we're waiting to see who won this game. We're literally watching points happen in real time.
Yeah.
So like all of that, one dope, high quality app made by an actual fucking multi-million startup.
That would be sick. And then like also having players having like their own profile, so you can like look and you can like add people, you can follow them, see what they're matching.
Oh, and it's all social media mechanic would be sick. Yeah, like an actual. This would be the greatest app for our game of all time.
Dude, the biggest thing, in my opinion, would be that you get a QR code for like your army, and then the other person can just scan it, and then they could have your list on their phone, so then they could just look at it.
Bro, genius! Because then you just pull your phone, you just pull the app up on your phone, and you're like, here's the QR for my army. He just scans it, and we got it.
Easy.
Come on.
I think all that would be really cool.
Let's go on Think Tank, or was it Shark Tank? And
Shark Tank,
Yeah.
They're like, wait.
We want $3 million to create an app for this very niche hub.
They're gonna get bogged down on like, wait, what's this thing? Oh, Toy Soldier. The whole show will be about them calling us stupid.
Yeah, and then we'll be like, no, he hits on threes.
Yes.
You don't understand.
Right.
So ready to move on over to Harlequin content now?
Oh, I think we need to congratulate the winners of the Long War Doubles team Chris Joyner.
Oh yeah. Team Chris Joyner. Like they came out with some Grey Knights, and it was painted as like a custom chapter, but I think it was like Raven Guard was the rule they were using, right? Or was it Black Templars?
Yeah, they were painted as black. No,
it was a custom. It was a custom chapter. Yeah, it had lots of Paco's the Monkey bits. Like his army looked tight. Sick. The Grey Knights were awesome, and they just won. They won best overall for sportsmanship and theme and hobby and everything. So like, big congrats to those guys.
Killing it. Another Long War Doubles this month, right? So 3 months, 3 Long War Doubles.
Yeah, dude, this is like Adepticon's like the WWE Rumble Slam of Long War Doubles. Like, this is the big one. It's
WrestleMania. It's like the actual like champion of the champion of champions.
People go so hard at this. Like, if anybody's listening, and this is going to be your first one, I'm going to tell you, like, do whatever you want to have fun, but be aware, people hobby super hard for this. Like, people wear costumes and shit. So like, if you show up and you have a really well painted army and you and your buddy have a great time and are good sports and you're just like wearing matching t-shirts or something, like, just be aware there's another guy and his buddy who are dressed as even like harder.
Fucking Colt Mechanicum with fucking like voice modulators and robes and a 3-tier display board that they brought, like,
yes, like people go hard for this.
And they've been hobbying for 2 years for this shit.
Yeah.
Straight.
So just understand.
That's crazy.
But it'll still be dope. It's totally worth going to.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a spectacle because also it's awesome because there's the 4-man Crowning Jewel team event at Adepticon. So a lot of people get to have the opportunity to hobby for both, right? Like, so you're building your 4-man team and then you can break 1,000 points off of that and run a lot of the stuff you'd already been gearing up. So it's super efficient to like play in both team events, the doubles and the 4-man.
Yep. And we'll have a bunch of coverage on Spiky Bits, of course, of our favorite armies and who wins what. The end.
Oh, that's right. Walk in. Our Adepticon and BAO winners. These dudes literally had matching tattoos.
Bro,
they went hard.
What a commitment.
Yeah. They went so hard.
They literally.
You try putting water on it and like some soap to see if it was just a press on?
They're real.
No.
Yeah,
we had a pair of guys come to LVO, and like part of their like bro trip was they got matching tattoos in Vegas. They weren't 40k themed, but it was still pretty cool. Like, they were like dice themed. It was neato.
These guys were 100% the theme of their army.
Yeah, they were wearing like their whole thing was like Spartan themed.
Spartan thing, like ultramarine style, like Minotaur stuff, right? Like,
yeah, and they had like a knight that was all Spartaned out. They had converted like a shit ton of Zangor cultists to be like Spartans with spears and shields, and they wore togas and shit, and had laurels and matching tattoos. Dude, it was Legion tattoos. Like, it went hard.
It was gangster. But all right, so we've been off the air for a couple weeks. Everyone on the internet's talking about Eldar, and different, lots of different varied opinions. It's not like the Tau talk or anything like that. It's a completely different conversation. And so we brought Matt on. He was, able to fucking broadcast from his undisclosed location somewhere in Silicon Valley, who is actually someone who's interested in Eldar and specifically Harlequins, to walk us through why he thinks Harlequin's the best army in Warhammer 40k right now.
Yeah. So Harlequins, first of all, there's a huge glow up in a lot of their units that happened in this new codex, right? Void Weavers are probably like the biggest ones that you're going to see. Those things are T5, 6 wounds each. You could bring them in a squad of 3. They get 2 shots each gun, or 2 shots each boat. Strength 12, -4, 2d3 damage, or 3d3 each one. Strength 5, I think -3, 1 damage. And each one of them has 2 shuriken cannons on them. So that's 18 shots out of just 3 of just shuriken cannons. And shuriken cannons have wound rolls of 6s is AP 3 instead of just 1. 2 damage flat, which is insane. And those things will eat marker drones and shield drones like it's nothing. And with all the shenanigans that they had in 8th edition, but it's been upgraded to 9th edition, they have cooler, better rules now. There's a lot of stuff inside of the Harlequins Codex that will break the game right now. It's insane.
So what are you looking at specifically for your army?
Yeah, so there's one Sadith. It's called the Light Sadith. You don't have mask forms anymore like you used to in 8th edition. Now they're just called Sadiths. So you used to have 6 sub-factions that you could choose from, and they just reduced it down to 3. But they made them incredibly good. This is the first army where every single sub-faction is good. You can run a good list out of every single one of them instead of one of them being a dud.
I like seeing that.
Yeah, they're all incredibly good. Light Sadith, I think, is the best one in my opinion. That one is if you're 12 inches away, you're transhuman to hit, so you can only hit on 4s.
Okay, interesting.
Is it hit or wound? Is it wound on 4s?
Hit. So you only have to hit your transhuman, so you can only hit them on 4s when you're 12 inches away from them.
Outside or within?
Outside.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
So it's cool.
Yeah, and then what's
interesting?
Cool
that's interesting. So you can actually push people to hit you on 5s.
Yeah, you can, because your boats are naturally -1 to hit, and they have a built-in rule where you cannot re-roll your hit roll against them.
So they have a way to, so they use the rules to bypass the you can never go to a -2 to hit, to still get you the feeling of you're hitting me on 5s.
Basically, yeah. And since you still have lightning fast reactions that you can use, and those boats are -1 to hit, that means that Tau, they're probably always going to be hitting you on 5s with no rerolls to their hit roll.
Nice.
Wow.
Which is insane. That's already insane. But then you could push it even further, because in the light detachment, you can give the Shadow Seer a pivotal roll where you decrease range by 6 inches. So instead of that 12-inch range that I was just talking about, it's a 6-inch range. So you have to be within 6 inches to not get transhuman to hit.
Yeah, it makes sense for them.
That's spicy.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The biggest thing, though,
that's an incredible defensive set of tools. That's powerful.
Yeah, but it gets better, Kenny. It gets even better.
But wait, there's more.
So that sounds already strong, right? But have you guys heard of the new mechanic that they have called Luck of the Laughing God? If you're running a pure Harlequins detachment?
I'm unaware.
Yeah, so Strike Force missions, which is 2K points, you get 3 automatically, and these are just 3 free rerolls that you can use throughout the entire game, right? For that round, and then on their next round, it repeats again. You get 3 free ones, and then you can
per round. You mean per battle round?
Per battle round, yes.
Per game?
Per battle round. So you get 3 per battle round at the very least, And then, once that battle round is over, they go away and then you redo the process again. But you can roll up to 6 dice. And if each result is unique, you get more free rerolls. But it's up to 6. So you can just roll 2. And then, your chances of having them both be unique is fine, right? So you get 5 free rerolls. And you can use these rerolls for your hits, your wounds, your advance rolls, and for your saving throws.
Damage rolls as well.
And damage rolls, exactly. So all the other rolls, you don't care about them. You only save them for your saving throws, because if your entire army has a 4-up invuln and you're already hitting, you can only hit them on 4s with no rerolls to hit. And then you're saving on 4s. A lot of the army still has access to 3-up invulns for their infantry characters as well. You're just saving all the time. You fail a save, then you just say, "Luck of the Laughing God," and you reroll your saved roll on something that is T5, T6, or 6 wounds. It's insane with that much of a platform. It's crazy.
So it seems like volume is going to be something you want to bring against the Harlequins. One salvo rocket, they're just oh, whatever. They either make it or they have 2 chances to make a 4-up invul save where your hit is drastically reduced. But if you bring volume, or you get stuck into the combat phase, that seems to be the best thing to do.
Pretty much.
Well, I have a question on these rerolls, the Laughing God rerolls. They're not command points, so can you burn them all in the same phase?
Yeah. You can burn them all in the same phase.
So I can have 5 free rerolls that I just can burn all exclusively in your shooting phase.
I have it pulled up if you want me to read the rule for you.
Yeah, read it for me, actually. Yeah.
If every unit from your army has the Harlequins keyword and is performing the same Sadith, then at the start of each battle round, you gain a number of luck rerolls depending on the size of the battle, as shown in a table. So for Strike Force, it's 3. In addition, you can make a Luck of the Laughing God roll to try to increase the number of luck rerolls gained. To do so, roll up to 6d6. If every result is unique, you gain a number of additional luck rerolls equal to the number of d6 rolled. Each luck reroll can be used to reroll a hit, a wound, a damage, a save, or an advance roll. Any luck rerolls not used by the end of the battle round are lost.
Yeah. The good thing is that
so 5 is going to be pretty standard, because like you said, you're just going to roll 2 dice, bank on them being different numbers. You have 5 luck rerolls.
Yeah, basically.
And there's no restriction. So literally I have this army of you hit me on 4s -1, and you're going to do all this quality shooting to me, and I'm just going to endlessly burn 5 free 4-ups on that, and completely destroy your quality volley. With these rerolls, I need to burn or I don't get them back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous defensive mitigator.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
I mean, a unit of broadsides is I'm going to blow up those 3 fucking... You're not.
Yeah, I played a game against Tau as Light Sadith going really hard. And at the end of the game, I only lost 8 models.
Unbelievable.
Because I was looking at some of their data sheets, and it seems like some things have gotten more fair, in my opinion. The Scourge of previous editions,
Haywire.
The Harlequin. It's Haywire, and Haywire seems a lot more fair in that,
because now you have to roll that 6, right?
Yeah. It's a blast weapon. You can't fire it in close combat, which is fine, and it only gets the mortals on a 6.
Yeah. The Haywire cannons for bikes aren't that great anymore.
Yeah, they were OP, right? It was 4, 5, or 6, and then 6 was D3, right?
Yeah.
A lot of their stuff that's happening in their codex right now. I think that on the surface level, it doesn't look very good. It looks kind of meh. But when you start stacking all the combos and all the different ways that they interact with each other, I think that's where the army shines.
Yeah, it seems like we're going to have a lot of light Harlequins coming out of the woodwork, because that's a really, really good shooting defensive thing. The question becomes what you do against it, because they are a majority T3 faction, and people already have a shit ton of Skyweavers, right? Like if you have Harlequins, you probably have a bunch of Skyweavers. So, I mean, they're strength 5 -2, 2 damage melee weapons, which is pretty okay.
Like the Zephyr Blade or whatever?
Yeah. Like they're all right. But it seems just my first instinct after hearing the shooting stuff is like, just get into them as soon as possible and start fighting.
Yeah, but the thing is that inside of a light Sadith, you do have a stratagem where any unit in your army that gets charged, you can move 6 inches. You just do a normal move 6 inches.
So it's similar to playing Custodes, right? So it's like if you're going into Custodes and you can only have a single avenue of attack on like one unit, they're going to put all their defensive stuff on them, right? Yeah. So what you need to do is have like 2 to 3 avenues of, like, you need to be making like 3 charges into 3 different targets. So then it's like, well, one of them can move, but these other 2 are getting charged. Like that's happening.
Yeah, definitely.
So they have the old like, oh, I'm going to charge them stratagem. I move away from you 6 inches. Now you get to roll your dice.
Yeah, now you get to choose your new one. It's tactical oblique.
Oh, it's that. Okay, yeah, that's same wording. Okay.
Yeah, except that's any unit and it's only 1 command point instead of 2 command points. Which is pretty good.
Solid defensive.
Yeah, what's cool is that they also have a stratagem to do a heroic intervention. So what you can do is if somebody charges you, you can use that stratagem to move 6 inches, and then you can heroically intervene 6 inches away as well. So like if somebody charges you, you just move 12 inches into combat with something that doesn't want to get into combat.
Yikes.
It's pretty funny. There's a lot of shenanigans in that one. But the light Sadith is like insanely strong. And then all the characters are so good now.
Does a Solitaire still fuck?
Solitaire is incredibly good right now. She has a 3-up invuln innately, and you can upgrade her so then she's -1 to hit in combat, or just -1 to hit in general, and you can't re-roll your hit rolls against her.
Nice.
And then when you have Luck of the Laughing God, again, you're just making these saves on a 3-up invuln.
Just burning them on 3-up invulns.
Is there avenues for Feel No Pain in this codex? Or for Harlequins?
Yeah, so you can get a relic that is a 5-up Feel No Pain for mortal wounds, and then you have a 6-up Feel No Pain just in general for...
It's just on the character. Like, there's not avenues for Feel No Pain on like jet bikes?
I think that your jet bikes are... since they're core, they get a 6-up Feel No Pain with a psychic power and an aura.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty
good. Yeah.
Yeah, but like... as of right now, you don't really run the bikes as much as you used to. You're not going to see a lot of them. You're going to see 9 Void Weavers more than likely until it gets nerfed. They're 270 points for 3 of them. And you bring 3 squads of them, and the firepower on them is insane. If you want to look at their profile for like what they do, they get 18 shots of shuriken, and it's crazy when they hit on 3s. They're going to be wounding things mostly on 3s because of strength 6, AP 1, wound rolls of 6s are AP 3, and then 2 damage flat.
Yeah. And so are you paying to switch out the Void Weaver cannon?
Yeah, you take the prismatic cannon.
Prismatic cannon. Yeah, I can see the prismatic cannon being really good because you get shit ton of shuriken volume and the strength 12 weapon. So those are pretty solid.
What's the profile of the prismatic cannon?
It's either heavy 2, strength 12 -4, 2d3, or you get heavy 3d3, strength 5, -3, 1 damage. So it's got like a focus and a disperse. So it's like
this, 3 of these in a unit. Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then you're probably going to see like 9 of them. And the other thing that you get with the light Sadith is that you can advance and remain stationary. So you can shoot your weapons that are heavy and assault without penalty as well.
Cool.
And all of your boats auto advance 6 inches. So you can have like 22-inch movements on everything and still like have an insane gun platform that's mobile and hard to hit.
And I assume this is the Void Weaver also, does it carry people or is it just a tank?
It doesn't carry people. It's just a tank.
Oh, okay.
It's the Star Weavers that do it. Right. And the Star Weavers are still really good.
Dope.
Yeah. And that's just one.
Yeah. So if you're taking like, if somebody's going to just bring a bunch of Void Weavers, is there the possibility of them also being able to flood the board with OBSEC, or is the way to kind of go up against that to be like really cagey OBSEC?
Yeah, so if you bring 9 of them, you still have enough to bring like, I think still 6 troop units and still have OBSEC on the board. And your troops slap harder now because everything is now +1 strength. So it's strength 4, AP 2 damage that you can put up to 3 damage as well. You can ignore invulns. You can deal mortal wounds in combat. You can deal mortal wounds on the charge. You can still fall back and go into a transport after you hit something. There's a lot of jank stuff that they can pull off in order to clear things off of objectives.
Oh, okay. But do the Harlequins have their own faction secondaries?
They do, and they're all pretty good. And they all score 15 points.
Awesome, dude.
Yay.
Yeah. I like taking like the 9 Void Weavers and putting them as 2 to last because they're 270 points. You know, it's the most expensive stuff in your army. But since they're so hard to kill, it's a great 2 to last unit already. And then you can spend 1 command point for this stratagem called Virtuosos of the Webway, where you can take any unit in your army and just chuck it into strategic reserves. So if it goes down to like 1 model, you could just chuck it into strategic reserves for the rest of the game and still have your last points.
Cool. Good old Eldar.
Trixie Eldar.
Man.
That's annoying, right? It's like,
well, dude. None of this. So it's funny. Like we've been doing this a long time, and none of this surprises me because every single time the Eldar have come out with a new book, they've always been like busted as fuck. Like they always do something that, like,
well, they always break the rules of the game as we currently know
like
them.
they always
For example, getting me to hit you on 5s breaks the rules of the current game, right?
Yep.
Classic Eldar.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Their characters are also extremely strong. The list that you're going to be seeing, like you could run 4 or 5 characters, and since you're like hard to kill anyways, you don't really care too much about assassination points. But like you're going to see like 2 Death Jesters all the time. Like the Death Jesters are so good. They're snipers.
I love Death Jesters.
Yeah, they're strength 6, AP 2. It's a shuriken weapon, so if you get a wound roll of a 6, then it's AP 4, 2 damage flat.
You taking any pivotal roles on them?
Yeah, yes, you can. And you can give them warlord traits. Harvester of Torment is the pivotal role that you want to take with the Death Jester. That one is every time that you do a hit roll of a 6, it causes 3 explosions. And then you can give them a warlord trait where you can force a dice to be an unmodified hit of a 6. So on average, you're always getting like 6 or 7 shots off of a Death Jester shooting at characters with this insane profile of a weapon.
So he can roll his shots, get a natural 6, flip a 1 into a 6, get 6 extra hits.
Basically, yeah. Like I've had a game where I got like 15 shots and I just like nuke characters. Like, you know, you go up to anything that doesn't have a good invuln save, and there's a lot of characters that are like that, looking at AdMech, and you can just like nuke them off the board because it's a 30-inch range gun. And you're advancing with these boats that they're in that move 22 inches. There is no way that a character stays safe around you unless you have bodyguard. And then you just shoot at the bodyguards.
Solid.
Pretty
solid.
Nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same old shit though. It's like, you know, like back in the day it was really hard to hit these Eldar guys, and now it's still really hard to hit them.
It tickles me a little bit because there's been a lot of hot takes about Custodes over this past couple of weeks, and when I look at Custodes, and I realize that like this might sound biased because I'm playing Custodes, but like when I look at what they do, I really don't think there's anything about Custodes that is like actually overpowered. There's things that can feel very oppressive, right? Because they are like, they're a highly elite, very strong, very hard hitting, very tough army that can be very oppressive with certain builds. But I don't think they break any rules of 40K. Like they don't do anything that other factions don't also kind of have access to in one way or another. And people are just having like the hottest takes on just wanting to just destroy them and nerf them into the ground. And I'm like, we can play transhuman on 1 unit. Space Marines can also do that. But like, if you look at Deathwing can field more Terminator bodies than I can field of, you know, jet bikes or like my Terminators because they're cheaper. and they have permanent transhuman like all the time on all of those units, right?
Yeah.
So like what's stronger, you know? And then we look at this Harlequin stuff, and I'm just like, well, this is okay. Like all this stuff, I can't do anything against this. Like,
I like cheat codes, and so I like the way they're doing this. I like the cleverness of this mechanic. You hit me on 4s if I'm outside of a certain range, so that they can be these squishy vehicles. Because how do you get the feeling narratively of like
they're like hollow fields and all that?
Yeah. My pilot training, my vehicle, all my technology is about the lightest weight shit that moves the lightning fast reflexes, all this. How do you get the spirit of that, right? For real, because otherwise it's just like everything kills that. So before it was really brutish. It was like we got all this access to, minus Tuesday hit and stuff, like all real brute force. This is like this is clever, right? Because it's like we can't do that anymore, but because they have this narrative, you always have to hit me on 4s. I don't give a fuck how good of a shot you think you are. My dude has 6 senses, man. He's got spider senses popping off. You put me in the heretical your scope, and I can feel that in the back of my head, and I'm already taking maneuvers, right? That like feeling. So they got this cool rule, and then they can still onboard the -1 hit, bringing you back to that heinous 5. But we can +1 it back to 4, make it not too unreasonable, right? So I think it's a solid rule. It is a cheat code, but I'd like to see how the dice fall on that. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see that. There's the army, like for this specific playstyle for that specific Sadith, right? It's a lot more cagey than the other ones. The other ones are a lot more aggressive. They're a lot more.
Cagey is just really good in this edition for just like
scores you points,
scoring points. Yeah, I mean, like we're talking about Dice Hammer Team Tournament next month, and I almost think like if we look at these lists and there's a Custodes player who hasn't altered their list to deal with this, it's like I send you into them like every time, because what people have been running with like all the salvo launchers and that kind of thing, this just like takes it right on, and there's nothing you can do against it.
There's a lot of stuff that makes it very difficult, but I think that the book is healthy because there's still obvious weaknesses, like what you guys are saying, like tagging them if you're really fast, if you have multiple charge threats, things like that. And that specific Sadith, it can be kind of difficult. Shooting Crusher Stampede is like one of their worst matchups because -1 damage, high toughness. All of your infantry units cannot go past strength 4. So, you're wounding like T8 models on 6s. Like, it's very hard.
That makes sense. Like the infantry shouldn't be able to like punch up that far.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's that. The Harlequins mirror match is also probably one of their worst matchups as well. Anything with like -1 to hit, the Harlequins don't want to see that because they have literally no way to re-roll any of their hit rolls.
Well, so that's what I was going to ask. So this Laughing God thing, is that like their only avenue for like re-roll hit rolls or wound rolls? Like they don't have like a quote unquote like a captain buff aura, like or anything like that?
Yeah, so they have a captain buff aura with the Troop Master. He can let you reroll wound rolls of 1.
Okay.
And that is it. That is the only way you get rerolls in this army.
Oh, okay. So they're going to suffer from negatives to hit as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But when you have so much shot that you can do, it's like it doesn't really matter too much.
That's kind of like what I'm thinking too. I'm feeling it in my head, and I'm just like, I think it's a cheat code that I want to see play out. I want to see people rock 9 of these things. I want to see how that feels. I want to see how much damage they really do, how hard they really are to kill. And see how they use these Laughing God rerolls. Right now I'm real basic about it. I'm like, I'm going to just keep them alive, right? But it's more complicated than that, right? So I like it personally. Like I like it. I'm not like in the mindset of like, no, stupid Xeno's at it again. I'm like, actually, I think this is pretty neat. And Harlequins are pretty cool. I like to see how this plays out. I like to see you get it on a battle report really soon.
Yeah, and the thing is that we do have one. It was against GSC, and he brought like a bunch of demolition charges that he couldn't throw at me because of my Shadow Speeder reducing the range by 6 inches. The only thing he threw it at me was
goddamn Shadow Speeders, dude. I hate seeing those on the table.
Yeah, so that was annoying. But Harlequins is one of those armies where you need a lot of finesse, because if you mess up, it's one of those armies where it just punishes you incredibly.
I mean, do you already have 9 of these out on the table?
For that one, I only had 1 squad of Void Weavers.
See, I want to see this fabled 9.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
Nice.
They just went back in stock on GW, so yeah.
These grown men just spent $300 on 2 jet bike or 2 transport or 2 gunships.
I mean, do you know the irrational feeling of being like, I need to buy 9 of these right now. I don't care how much they fucking cost. Like, and it's just like toys.
Well, the cool thing is, like, you can, like, a lot of the main sellers, might be out, but you can Google around, go 2-3 pages in and find like local independent stores that don't have as big of a footprint with like, web carts and shit, and still find stuff. Like the Webway gate's going for like $120 right now. Are you running any of those, Matt?
I'm running it for a dark build that I'm doing. Which is another Sadith that you guys have to watch out for.
I assumed when you said you were doing light Sadith, I was like, ooh, dark Sadith?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's light Sadith, there's dark Sadith, and there's twilight Sadith.
I'm 100% behind these names. That's tight.
We have a pretty light Eldar meta here, but I'm still going to probably want to read into this a little bit more. Because the only person I know that we've been talking about this, he's like really focused in on craft worlds. And so like I haven't seen any of the Corsair stuff and I haven't heard any of the Harlequin stuff until now. And Harlequins seem just real good.
Yeah, and their secondaries are so good. Like this army is so flexible in your secondaries that like you can pull it to any matchup and find something that's going to work really well with your army, which is
so with the rules as they are now. Drukhari. How does it? Could you have a Drukhari / Harlequin army right now?
Yeah, and it doesn't break power from pain either.
So it doesn't break power from pain or your Laughing God bullshit.
You don't get look at the Laughing God.
So you
only for Harlequin.
Yeah, for Harlequins you don't get it.
Yeah, so that's their contagion. Like it has to be all Harlequins.
Oh, okay, that's the one. That's the one you get for. That's your reward for being mono faction.
Yeah, everything else is detachment. Like their chapter, that's detachment based.
Okay, I see. But okay.
Yeah, it makes it so then you're just a lot more durable, which I really, really like. But, if you're going to run them with other armies, then you're going to want to run probably Dark Sadith is probably going to be your best bet. Because it gives you the most bang for your buck on a lot of your units that you'd want to run out of the Harlequins, which are like troops, your Troop Master, Death Jester, Solitaire, and some Void Weavers.
That makes sense. Yeah. I'm really excited about this. Like, honestly, I'm like, fuck, keep your eye on the prize, Kenny. You're working on something right now.
Mechanic is pretty interesting.
I think our boy K.R. Quinn brings up a couple of good points because like for a while, like leading up to this release, like going through like in a Tau world, right? And in a Custodes mirror match world, like I've been really cold on the Caladius tank, but moving forward, I think that Caladius might have some play. I don't know if I would do 3. I think 3 is a little too skew because you lose a lot of bodies by having 3. But against something like the Harlequins and like some of the other Eldar stuff and how like Tau is going to shift and change, like I think the Caladius is going to have a little bit of play.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen our boy Sean do anything with the new book yet.
Very busy.
I mean, just hearing this, I'm like, Sean is going to be a menace this year.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like what's great about this is that we haven't even talked about the other Sadists. Do you guys want to talk about Dark Sadists?
Yeah, we can touch on it a little bit.
Yes.
I'm trying to go through it and like I have the codex pulled up, but it's the first time I've opened it, so I'm like scrolling through to find the Sadist stuff.
It's beautiful. What's great about this codex is that it's only like 18 pages, but it's so in depth. Like there's so much stuff you can do with it, which is like insane. I feel like that there's more depth in this army than there is in all of the craft world stuff that you can do as of right now.
Mm-hmm. It kind of makes sense because craft worlds are like the craft world fighting style is a little rigid. Like
yeah.
Dark. zoom in on this from my old eyes.
You want to give a rundown of what it does?
So they get Dark Deeds. Each time a model with this characterization is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model has not fought this phase, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making attacks and is then removed. So they get fight on death if they haven't already fought. Cool.
Pretty good.
You can never stop them from doing damage.
Yeah. Each time a model with this characterization makes a melee attack, improve the AP by 1.
Yeah.
So they're the punchy guys. Got it.
Cool.
Yeah, so this is the punchy guys. What's great about this is that you have a new stratagem. It's called Oblivion's Caress. It's 2 command points, and you can ignore your you can ignore your enemy's invuln saves in melee combat. Right.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And in order to do that, all of your weapons, there are Harlequin kisses, caresses.
What's the
It's all mixed now.
Like what's the requirement? Is it like it activates them and their weapons now ignore invulnerable saves? Or is it like this unit doesn't receive invulnerable saves from us? Like what's the...
I think it's just like the enemy unit that you charged in melee attacks, they can't take it.
See, that's what I figured. I figured it would the condition wouldn't be as heinous as it sounds. Like, it's not like we don't give a fuck about anyone's saves. It's more like you don't get them.
Yeah. So
you also have a Deny Overwatch or set to defend, which is still very useful.
Yeah. The Death Jester has a pivotal role that you can do where it denies it also. It's a 30-inch range gun. As long as it hits and he hits on 2s.
Okay.
Then like as long as it hits and it's not a vehicle or a monster, you can deny Overwatch with him. So you have 2 ways to deny Overwatch, which is really nice. But yeah, so these troops, they get 4 attacks each player. You bring a squad of 5, that's 20 attacks, right? All at strength 4, AP 3 because you get +1 to your AP, 2 damage flat that you can bump up to 3 damage. AP 3, you're pushing like Custodes to a 5-up save now at 2 or 3 damage for each swing, which is pretty gnarly. And then like your character, the Troop Master, becomes even more insane because you can give him Foot of the Future. You can upgrade him with a pivotal role where every 5 up that he does, it ignores your invuln save. You can also give him the Warlord trait inside of this detachment where every 5 up is also a mortal wound in addition. You can also spend a stratagem for 1 CP where every 6 deals a mortal wound in addition as well. So 5s would deal 1 mortal wound, 6s would deal 2
mortal wounds.
mortal
wounds. That they've been pretty. When those get through the cracks, GW always has to like.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, and then he gets to re-roll his wound rolls. So like he hits on 2s, re-rolls his wound rolls. 5 ups, ignore your invuln.
Yeah, because like you're doing the old Chain Lord combo. I hit a natural 6 and it's 2 more. Like it's the GW hits those, but like that's still tight. I mean, even without that, the mortal wound potential is and the tricks up these sleeves. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice to consider like how 5 players could just bow, like drop a wombo combo off, and it's just like get evaporated, son.
That's just for a Troop Master, which is a character. And he gets 6 attacks.
Yeah. I'm going back in time to like this concept of like how 20 attacks from a squad of dudes can go. They can go up to their AP goes up 1. They can upgrade their damage. They can remove your vulnerable save, like you were saying, and they can take a Custodian up down to a 5.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you just don't think that these 5 dudes are gonna ninja flip over this wall and just eliminate your toughest unit. Like
exactly.
It's very cool. It's kind of like this Breacher combo that I love from the Tau army right now, where they can jump out of a devilfish and So it's like
just nuke something to death.
Yeah.
It's good. What you can also do is you can upgrade your Troop Master with Foot in the Future. That one is such a great Warlord trait. Every time you advance D3 plus 3 instead. On top of that, every time you do a charge, you add 6 to your result. So if you come out of Deep Strike, you only have to roll a 3.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, they're the punchy guys, but it's always notoriously hard to get the punchy guys in the fight.
No, it's not.
Nope.
It's
World Eaters, see these new mechanics? This is great, Wyatt. See, every time we get a new mechanic, GW figures out a new thing, right? When back in the day when they figured out, like, transhuman, they're like, oh, we got this new wound mitigator idea, right? we got this damage scaling mitigator, right? Like they come up with these new ideas and then they start streamlining them, making more conditional, less broken. And our biggest concern for World Eaters is like, okay, how do we get the notorious face punchers in the game? All we can do is glean from existing mechanics right now. And there's some good mechanics out there right now. And now this, skulls for the skull throne fucking add 6 mechanic could be one of them, right?
Yeah. It's pretty nasty.
I'd be all for it.
Yeah.
So like the troop master that was just talking about, the one that like deals mortal wounds, ignores your invulns, reroll his wound rolls, all that stuff. You give him foot in the future. You can spend 1 CP for the stratagem called Hero's Path. And like every infantry unit inside of Harlequins have advance and charge, right? This is built in innately. They still have flip belt. They ignore models. They ignore terrain. They all have a 4-up invuln. They're -1 to hit in combat, and then they could be -1 to hit outside of that. But the troop master with foot in the future, use a CP. You can increase your movement by 2 inches and add 1 to your charge rolls for your troop master. So that means that this guy, he goes from 8-inch move to 10-inch move, D3 plus 3 advance, right? On average, that's a 5. And then from there, you can make a 12-inch charge by only rolling a 5. So like you have a 27-inch threat range with just one dude. That's insane with that type of profile.
Does a solitaire still have a thing like that?
Yeah, Solitaire still has Blitz move, 12-inch move, roll 2 dice, add that to your move characteristic. You can't do that in advance though, because they changed the wording of how advance works now.
Yeah, I get it, but it's still farther. Like it's so you have so you could potentially have like 2 Billy badasses who hit you blah blah.
Yeah, exactly. And then you still have your troops that also can advance and charge and all that.
I love this fucking army, man. This is so fucking tight.
Yeah, it's so cool. And then like, he goes up, he whacks something. You spend 1 CP for curtain falls, and then if there's a transport nearby, he just pops into the transport.
I love the name of these things. So cool. Curtain falls.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think there's going to be a lot of people at the Adepticon 40k champs rolling into Harlequins. Going to be like, bro, I'm straight up not having a good time.
So OP. Oh, they're from.
I'm so glad that I don't have to like within 2 weeks figure out what to do against Harlequins. Like I get a month, I get over a month to figure this out. This is heinous.
I already figured it out. Just gonna make a Harlequin army.
Oh yeah.
Just join us, man. It's so much fun.
Buy in before the adjustments.
Yeah. And then what's it called? Like now you can bring a squad of 12 troop players for some reason instead of just 10. So you can have 12 of them running across the board. You can use a psychic power called Fog of Dreams, and you have to be within 12 inches of that unit to shoot at it. So if you're not within 12 inches or the closest eligible unit, then you literally cannot interact with that.
They have so many defensive tools.
Yeah. Whenever you advance with an infantry unit, you can spend 2 command points, give them a 3-up invuln. Like
it's funny because Karakuda's like, yeah, but they're still on this 3 and dies. Like, but like, are they just on this 3? Because with all if you factor all this in, all this mechanics in, like this -1 here, this extra, you can't shoot this guy there. This we have random 3 vulnerables here. Like you factor all that shit in, it's like, okay, this is not going well. I'm rolling on buckets of dice and not getting the results I should be getting.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I will say that I played against Tau with this army. It was really nice seeing how salty they got after Tau became like a menace, like really quickly. They were very upset about Look at the Laughing God and just like how many saves I'm just making because
and I have Tau PTSD from 6th edition, and I have almost no Harlequin PTSD. So I'm like, yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, right.
But look, let's get out of here. Let's shut it down. That was a sick dissertation and a solid argument for why Tau is no longer OP. Custodians are basically the worst army in 40k. Now Harlequins.
I don't think they're the worst. I think it's just like this is one of those things where like we've been seeing a trend of kind of rock paper scissors stuff happening. Which depending
I will quote
on
Rob Baer. He loves saying this since 6th edition when Grav Guns came out.
Yeah.
Right? Like all this new stuff came out, Wraith Knights, Night Titans, everyone was like, everything's broken. And Rob's like, trust me, it's going to be fine. And then like next week, they showed us what grav guns did.
That's right.
And it was like, oh. And so it's like, bro, like this is a great trifecta right here. Like I'm with it.
Yeah, I love the army. It's
Harlequin fact. He says no one can paint clowns fast. We actually had that discussion in tactics today.
That is true. That is true. I mean, we're gonna see some guys come out who just have their death clowns ready to go.
We're also gonna see some really trash painted.
Oh, that too. Yeah, we saw a lot of trash painted Tau at Cherokee.
Yeah, we only took pictures of one Tau army at Cherokee, and there was a lot of Tau army there, so that should tell you something.
Yeah, when I realized I had to build I had to paint 9 more boats, I was like, I ain't doing checker patterns anymore. You can't make me. So I'm stripping all of them.
I literally said that in tactics. I was like, so basically this is what you have. You're going to have people who deliberately decide that the diamond is no longer a part of the model and ignore it. Yeah. Or not. That's what I said earlier today.
I'm like, nah, I'm good. I can't do it anymore. I did it once and it made me go insane. I'm not doing it again for 9 more models. You can't make me.
No one can.
Nice.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for lending your expert opinion on the subject. Good luck this weekend with all the games, and I look forward to seeing that live stream.
Yeah, we're sorry we dimed you out your location to the authorities.
Oh, that's fine. You want my social security number?
Yeah, Jamal's maiden name.
Shout it out. It'll be fine.
Yeah. 322-21-8764.
Dude, you just give away somebody's social security
Did you
number.
just spell boobs like in the calculator? Well, I think we did it.
Yep, and I'm happy to report we have less than 10 supporters to go over on Patreon until we hit our goal. Woo! Very exciting. Hopefully we can get some t-shirt promos and stuff. And
Patreon will acknowledge us as being real and existing.
And hopefully, and no longer peasants. Also, I think Imperial Seth donated some money during the show, and we might have missed it.
The beer coffers have begun to refill.
We're gonna need them after Rob put a big dent in them at Cherokee.
It's not my fault.
Well, Wyatt,
Rob,
I was getting there, and you guys had to accuse me of alcoholism again.
I mean, we had to do our bit.
So make sure to head on over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content and early access videos. Become a veteran of the Long War today.